guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from WhatCulture. He's Andy Murray from WhatCulture. And you do know one of the greatest wrestlers ever is just about to come out of retirement, right? Well, if you don't know, now you know.
Whoa! There you go.
What I'm talking about is this guy, HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. And if you are unaware of this, it's probably because you've not been watching NXT recently. We watch it here on a weekly, if not daily basis. I love it that much.
Every episode 5 times.
It's best wrestling show of the week, in my opinion.
Of all time, I would say.
It's all a subjective thing. The reason I say this is because it's probably going to happen, and it's been sort of under the radar if you've not been watching NXT. So, the reason behind it is this guy, one of the genuine best things about WWE right now, Grayson Bloody Waller. But before we get to him, we've got to take it back a little bit to talk about NXT premium live events going on the road. So, Stand and Deliver is going to be taking place over WrestleMania weekend, April 1st, I believe. They're doing the same thing that they did last year of having it earlier on the day of night one of WrestleMania. Now, last year's did a relatively middling 3.5 or 3,400 people paid in attendance, which was, depending on how you feel about it, good or bad considering it's in WrestleMania town on WrestleMania weekend. However, NXT Vengeance Day, which took place, of course, as we all know, around Valentine's Day, 10 days before it, February 4th, did a very respectable 5,100 pays. And Dave Meltzer wrote in the Wrestling Observer newsletter about it that they considered it a significant success. Far more people attended than they had projected. So Stand and Deliver will only be the third premium live event since NXT became NXT 2.0 and then went back to being NXT that they're going to be doing on the road. So it makes sense that they want to put some big stuff on there. Presumably, we're going to have the big title match and title change between Bron Breakker and Carmelo Hayes. What else do you put on there? Roxanne Perez obviously defending her NXT Women's Championship unless Miko Satomura wins it. Although I don't think that's going to happen, if I'm perfectly honest. It'll still be a great match regardless. You put Shawn Michaels fighting Grayson Waller at the upcoming Roadblock Premium Live event, which will just be going on normal NXT TV.
Is that a premium live event or is it just a TV show?
Yeah.
Special.
Premium TV show, yes. Grayson Waller has challenged Shawn Michaels to attend an episode of his Grayson Waller Effect, which is a bit like the KO show in Miz TV if you've never seen it, but he's a brilliant arsehole on it. He's got his own camera that focuses on his face. And yeah, I sense, and I reckon, and so does the likes of the Dudley Boys here at WhatCulture, that he's going to challenge HBK to a match for WrestleMania weekend because he's been blaming Shawn Michaels, Andy, for all the reasons why he's been losing in NXT. He lost the title match to Bron Breakker inside the steel cage and got suspended after berating Shawn Michaels on the post-match presser thing, basically. He then came back, fought Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate was defending HBK's honor, did some super kicks and everything. And let's just say Grayson Waller didn't take too kindly to that either. Again, berating Shawn Michaels and having a bit of a shoving match with Matt Bloom. Following that, he hijacked this week's episode of NXT and challenged HBK to attend the Grayson Waller Effect in a week and a bit on TV for the challenge, you sense. But no one really has noticed this, it feels.
Yeah, no one is talking about this whatsoever, but the breadcrumb trail is certainly leading to something. And when you think about it, that something kind of has to be a match or a fight. One of the two. Remember when Triple H came back to Raw a year or whatever ago and had that scrap with Randy Orton? Maybe it'll be that kind of thing.
Yeah. Unsanctioned, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whatever it's going to be. But it seems to be pointing in that direction because another potential scenario is the option that Michaels endorses a wrestler to fight Waller, but they've already done that with Tyler Bate, and there's not really anyone he's kind of, or something similar with Tyler
Bate. Yeah,
he's
not mentoring anyone right now.
There's no one he's attached to as an on-screen act, so it would be a bit random. It would have to be of the standpoint of, oh, that's a cool match, but that would seem like a bit of a letdown, I think, after these teases, which are every single week at this point. Also, Sean's last match sucked. It really sucked.
No escaping it.
So for the longest time, Sean seemed like the wrestler who was finally going to break the retirement thing and just never come back and not sully his legacy. But he ended up doing that in Saudi Arabia in that horrendous match where he and Triple H faced the Brothers of Destruction, which is most notable for two things. One, Kane's wig falling off. Number two, that face Sean had when he was sitting in the turnbuckle. He was interviewed for WWE immediately after that, and he was like, I'm done. This sucked ass. I'm not doing this again. But he also spoke about it on the Challenge Mania podcast a year later in 2019, called it a glorified house show live event. In my mind, it was not the same as an actual comeback. It felt like a totally separate entity. So absolutely, if Shawn Michaels wants to bargain with himself to come out of retirement and have a match, boom, that's the justification that he would probably use. Also, it's Shawn Michaels. He's one of the biggest names in WWE history. He's one of the greatest wrestlers in WWE history. You put him on your premium, whatever the hell we call it these days, and he's going to attract interest. Why wouldn't you see this freak show of a fight? That's exactly what it is. It's so strange and pretty damn awesome because I can't wait to see what it looks like.
Yes.
Even if it's just a brawl, I'm hyped for that, and I can't really explain why.
Yeah.
It's just weird, and I think that the reason not too many people are talking about this is because it's going down on NXT, which, you know, did increase its ratings in 2022 by a small amount, but it was an increase. But doesn't really have any hype.
No.
It's not really a talked about show anymore.
No, I've given up. I love the show, genuinely. It's a weird old show. It's not got anything in links to Raw and SmackDown, but it's just a fun pocket on a Tuesday night that I love watching and talking about. But yeah, for example, if I tweet about it on a Wednesday morning, if I tweet about Raw and SmackDown, it gets a bit of a discussion going. NXT does not do that right now.
No.
But in addition to the weirdness of HBK returning and the intrigue that would cause and the no doubt boost in sales that would do for Stand and Deliver, I genuinely think one of the reasons he wants to do this is because of Grayson Waller. So Grayson Waller, a bit of a storied history of him. He was the guy who kind of got rid of Johnny Gargano out of NXT, and they tried to use that as a platform to him to be like, oh, the big bad of NXT. And if I'm perfectly honest, I don't think that worked. But he then transitioned into this arsehole character, and I don't know how true it is to life, but it fits him perfectly. He has been a brilliant disturber within NXT since that moment. And I can see Shawn Michaels looking at him and not thinking, I'm going to bury that young prick. Thinking him working with me would really elevate his stock, and I can see Grayson Waller being a big star in WWE in the future. People have dismissed him and said, "Oh well, you know, he's just a bit like the Miz. He's got a big mouth and he's got a decent wrestling style." I think he might be better.
I think The Miz is the perfect comparison. Like, I respectfully disagree. I don't think he's ever going to be like a wrestler. Well, The Miz was a WrestleMania headline.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like a massive, gigantic, era-defining star. But I think comparing him to The Miz is actually a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Because The Miz has been in WWE for 5 million years. And he's been at this kind of upper mid-card, sometimes main event, sometimes a little bit lower, but he's always there. He's got a job for life. I think that's Grayson Waller.
He's got the thing within WWE. If he'd been AEW, would it work? Maybe not so much. He fits the WWE template. He's got those chops that can talk him into almost any match. Here's your example right here. And having watched him, I really enjoy watching him work in the ring. And his finish is perfect for a sweet chin music out of nowhere. His finish is he goes out of the ring, dives through the ropes, does a forward roll, and then there's a big move, right? I don't know what it is. I'm not technically that, au fait with how to describe it.
We don't know how to wrestle.
But he comes in, he rolls, he jumps, boom, super kick, prick. I think it's perfect.
And Shawn Michaels goes over. Heard it here first.
I'm really excited for it. And this is not just something that they've just thrown together. And I don't think it's a desperate grab necessarily to be like, oh, bollocks, we aren't selling any tickets. They're clearly all right with a smaller number of people. This is not NXT TakeOver anymore.
No.
but it is a thing they enjoy to do. I was lucky enough to go to it last year, and it was a really enjoyable part of the WrestleMania experience, in my opinion. And my God, yeah, if you're going to WrestleMania just because you're a bit of a casual fan and you want to see Cody take the title off Roman, or you want to see Rhea defeat Charlotte Flair and become world champion, and you go, what are we going to do on the Saturday afternoon before we head to the stadium? What's that? Shawn Michaels is wrestling. Whether it's, like you say, an official fight, an unsanctioned thing, or just a bloody good script, in the words of Grayson Waller, I'm up for it.
Nice little appetizer for WrestleMania.
HBK's coming back. Tell your friends, share this video, and follow Grayson Waller, because he's a brilliant knobhead.
Let us know what you think as well. Are you excited for Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement? Why? I think it's weird, so why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Like, weird stuff rules. Keep wrestling weird in 2023. Thank you for joining us so much.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, notifications, all that stuff. Follow us on Twitter at WhatCultureWW. This is the wrong way around.
Yeah.
Follow Adam on Twitter at
Adam Wilborn.
And you can follow me at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Hoop32 Demolition Hoop. I'm sure I've done that already. But Shawn Michaels has done a combat match already. And this one will be better than the last time.
Yes, my God. And if you want to get up to date with NXT, the NXT review and preview podcast are available right now. What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from. They're
better than the shows.
They're a little bit different. I'll definitely say that. But if you don't know, now you know. Bye.